Let's talk about Adobe MAX 2023. This is ArtIsRight. Before we start, subscribe if you're new and hit on the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload cool new videos like this. 2023 MAX. This is probably my fourth or fifth in-person MAX. I have attended all the virtual ones, but we're not going to count that. This is also the second one that Adobe have put together after the pandemic years. And I will say from my observation, this year MAX feel like how MAX was before the pandemic. The synergy is there, the creative energy is really flowing throughout, and it's just really awesome to be able to meet Adobe engineers that are behind the product that I am using, to meet with friends again, to build new connections and friendship is something that's really great. This is also the convention that Adobe have dubbed the most creative conventions, and they are right. And I'm going to share with you later on why they are right. But I also want to share with you an anecdote about my life and what I do a little bit before we talk about this year in MAX as well. And that is, for the first 2 days of this MAX convention, and including a third as well, I was really struggling in terms of what is a narrative, what is a story that I want to tell about this MAX, because I wasn't really sure. I've talked about MAX before in different capacity, but this year I have been producing so many content and I felt somewhat burnt out. And the other thing too is that I'm producing these content in my studio right now. It's like I'm producing these in a silo, and I don't get a chance to really hear many of your feedback until the video went live, or until I'm at a convention or something like that, and many of you would approach me and tell me that what I'm doing matters, and that's really changing the way how you see things or making your workflow faster, whatever that may be. I appreciate you guys approaching me. So on the third day, as I was just filming the Creative Park, that's pretty much Adobe parlance for trade show. In previous years, those were called the Creative Pavilion, but this year is called the Creative Park. And they have that layout really neat and interesting. I will share that with you in just a moment. But there's this person that approached me, and she just stopped me and asked, "Are you ArtIsRight?" And my response to that was yes. I paused the recording and we have a conversation. So she just said, "Thank you so much for doing the content about MAX, sharing with me what MAX is, because MAX is a convention that carries a high price tag and it doesn't get that many coverage." And I want to say thank you so much for stopping me and letting me know that these videos make a difference in what you do. So we have further discussion about MAX, about what she thinks about it. This is her first MAX. Does she like it? She definitely does like it. So that's really a great thing. So I am making an influence in someone's life, making a difference in someone's life. And that's my whole goal. The reason why I'm doing this channel is to help many of you guys out there that are creative. So my apologies. I can't remember your name, but you know who you are, and I would love it if we can stay in touch. So by all means, please DM me, please send me a message. I would love to stay in touch with you. I appreciate that you have approached me, and by all means, anyone else as well who are watching my channel, please feel free to approach me at these conventions. It's just really fun to have a conversation about what am I doing here in my studio when I'm producing these in the silos, and how you are benefiting from it. I love to hear those things because it helps me affirm that what I'm doing is really making a difference. All right, enough about that. I just want to quickly share with you my creative burnout and the inspiration on the third day from my conversation I have with one of my followers. So this year, my theme for MAX is about connection. It's about always being able to talk to the engineers, the people behind the product at Adobe, meeting with friends again, building new friendships. But it's all really just about connection. And Adobe have also made that clear as well in terms of the way how they have laid out the Creative Park this year. At the core of it is the Adobe booth. And they have broken that down into many sections for photo, video, 3D, AI generation, many different areas that you can really go and visit and talk to the engineers, which is awesome. Inside the Creative Park itself, they have broken down into, again, different areas for photos, for video, and there's vendors that are all over the place. So for instance, Fuji was there showing their new medium format camera. I gotta get my hands on that, which is really awesome. Sony was there with their entire lineup, and I get a chance to play with their lens, talk with the Sony rep, which is really great. I also have a great conversation with Puja Bench as well, and we are now going to be implementing their benchmark for many of the Mac comparisons I am doing, because it gives us a better playing ground or playing field when I'm really trying to compare Mac versus PC performance. Because for instance, one of the Photoshop tests that I've been using, Digital Lloyd, I mean, it's an amazing test, but it's only for Mac, and I want to have something that's bilingual, that's both Mac and PC, and Puja Bench is definitely going to be the one that I'm going to be using going forward, so that we get a chance to see both the way how they perform on multiple computing platforms. And to take a quick break from our conversations about the vendors, Adobe MAX is also one of those conventions that have really amazing swag. They also have different pins you can get. There's Max pins. There's also a pin of how many years you have already been using Creative Suite. So it's just a really great place to be. Now, a few other companies I also want to mention as well is that Atomos is there showing their new recorders and everything, which I think is cool. Logitech is there full force. I mean, showing all the tools you can use for creative, particularly their MX series. For example, they have released the MX Key S. So this is the MX Key S keyboard that I got in. I'll be doing a review of this soon on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel for that. But there's just, having all the different mounts, you can really go and try it out. There's also a new beta software as well that is the beta to Option Plus that now allows you to really go in and have a virtual key almost with your mouse, and it shows up as a circle. You can pick the different adjustment you want to do and really just adjust it on the fly. There's some things that are just really cool that Logitech's working on, and I'm really happy to be reviewing their products and really been using the product for a very long time, because personally for me, their keyboard and the shortcut that you can do for all these different programs in Logitech Option and now Logitech Option Plus is just an amazing thing for me to have, because it allows me to work through my images in Lightroom that much faster. And hopefully sometime soon too, I'll be doing a video about pretty much Logitech Option Plus and how I customize my option, so you can learn from that too. MSI was also at the Creative Park showing their Creator Series laptop, which there are a few of them. And this is great because it's now giving us an opportunity to really branch into different platforms depending on the operating system that we want to use. Just because you are a creative, it doesn't really mean you have to be running on an Apple Mac OS platform. You can also run Windows as well and still get the work done. So fingers crossed, hopefully I'll be getting a few MSI creator machines to run some testing in the studio, especially for the benchmark I've been doing. I think that would be really great to see. Microsoft is also there in full force this year, where they have different services device for you to really play with. I think that's really great, because in the previous year, Microsoft just have an area with a high table and they don't have any device there. So it's really great to see that they're coming out in full force. AMD is also there. Now, AMD mostly sells the chips, the components. Sometimes you buy the components, sometimes you buy AMD components inside systems or a laptop that has already been integrated, and they're really showing us what their technology can really do, how fast their chips are and everything. But one of the cool thing at AMD booth that I haven't seen before was a laptop from Acer that has both the AMD APU, that is the associated processing unit, so both the CPU and GPU, and also the integrated processing unit, I believe that's the term, IPU, that's equivalent to like AMD AI processing unit that's there. And the other thing about that laptop is that not only does it has AMD APU, but it also has AMD separate discrete GPU on there as well. Because most of the time, what do we see? We see either AMD or Intel CPU or integrated graphic and everything. And the other combo we would get is an NVIDIA 4070, 3070, whatever that may be, NVIDIA card inside. So being able to see AMD running on both of those components inside a laptop, I think is really cool. So hopefully I'll be able to get some of those into the studio to run some testing. That would be just really awesome. BenQ is also out there as well, and they were showing different displays from their Pro Designer series, to which there are many designers there, to their new SW series. For example, one of them that I have behind me here, the 272 series, there is a U and a Q. So they were showing that, and this one has a new matte display, which is really awesome. And one thing that one of my colleagues at BenQ come up with was a digital jelly bean idea for you to count how many beans there are in the jar, and if you can calculate and get the right number, you win a raffle for a display, which I think is really great. And the whole point of this, what I'm trying to share with you, is that all these companies are there, but they really want you to get your hands on their product, but to show you how you can be more creative with their product, what their product can do, how color precision can be, how you can use Sony camera or Fuji camera for that matter to be more creative in your workflow. There are other companies as well that are out there, for example, Monotype, and there are many other disciplines, companies too, that are really there to support the creative role. So for instance, Airtable was there, but you may not think so much about Airtable as being a creative company, but again, it's a database company that definitely helps many in the creative in the world, especially for like corporations. There's like an AI writing company that's there. Now, one of the companies I also want to point out to as well is SenseLab. Now, SenseLab is a tablet company very similar to Wacom, and they have just released a new 24-inch tablet display where you can really just write on the display. Now, I want to really get one of those into the studio to do some color calibration on them, to do some guide on color calibration. So we'll see how that's really going to work out. But that's one of my hope, that I'll have one of the SenseLab in to really do some testing, because they have fixed a lot of the pain point that have come before with other tablets that are on the market. So being able to review their product, I think that's also going to be great too. And like I said, all these companies are there to really show you how you can use their product in synergy with Adobe Creative Product to really create this whole encompassing workflow. And one more anecdote I want to say about Adobe MAX, and the reason why I'm repeating Adobe slogan per se, the most creative conference, because it is. Here's the thing. As a photographer, I would attend a photography conference, and most of the vendors, 90% of them will be selling photography gear, camera, whatever that may be. If I attend, for example, NAB, National Association of Broadcasters, NAB, all of those are going to be mostly broadcast and videos, very few photo company. They're very centric in the regards to the creative field that you're in, depending on the invention. The nice thing about Max is that you have this confluence of all these different creative disciplines that are in Adobe Creative Suite, which have everything from graphic design, Illustrator, InDesign, to video, Premiere, After Effects, to Photoshop, Lightroom Classic, to the new 3D, to Adobe Substance that does 3D. So you have all these type of creative coming in together. And this is a type of synergy that you're not going to get at any other conferences. So if you want to attend Max, I think it's, again, one of the most creative conferences out there. I highly recommend you do, because you're going to learn so much from this conference. The other thing that you should know about Max as well is there's keynotes that you can attend. So all the live broadcasts online, you can be there in person. There are lectures you can attend. But even more so, if you sign up for Max, you can also book into the labs where they have computers there with asset array loaded, and you're following through with an instructor how to do some things, and is really going to just teach you how to use the program, give you that creative spark to apply those creative tools that they just show you in class to your own creative workflow. So anyway, that's my experience with Max 2023. It's all about connection this year for me, and I'm glad to see all of you there. And for those of you that stop me and say hello, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, leave them below. Give this a like, subscribe, and hit on the bell if you're new. And in art we trust.